This video will show you Jeny's surprisingly stretchy bindoff. It is a great elastic bindoff for the cuff of socks. What makes this bindoff so elastic is that for every stitch you are binding off, you do a yarn over first. For every knit stitch, you need to do a reverse yarn over, which means that your yarn has to come from the back of the work over your right needle, and then between the needles into the back again in place for the next knit stitch. That's a reverse yarn over. For every purl stitch that you do, you're going to do a regular purl yarn over, which means the yarn has to be in front of the work, come over the top of your right hand needle, come back to the front. Let me do it with the right hand. Back to the front between the two needles, and you're in place for the next purl stitch. I'll get into this as we get going. So as you can see, our first stitch is a knit stitch. So bringing my yarn from the back, I'm going to do a yarn over, reverse yarn over the right needle from the top, between the needles into the back. I'm now in position to knit the first knit stitch. Then you need to take the tip of your needle, left needle, and bring the yarn over that first stitch. Now, our next stitch is also a knit stitch. So again, a reverse yarn over from the back, over the top, between the needles to the back, knit the next stitch, pull the yarn over that stitch you just knit, and pull that last stitch over the needle. You have bound that first stitch off now. Now, we have a purl stitch, but our yarn is in the back. Bring the yarn between the needles to the front to do a normal purl yarn over. From the front, over the needle, around the needle, totally encircling the needle, and back to the front. Now we will purl the next stitch. Now, you can either pull each one over the stitch you just purled, or you can pull the yarn over and the last stitch simultaneously together over that purl stitch, whichever you prefer. The next stitch is also a purl stitch. Our yarn is in the front. Over the top, around between the two needles so that we're completely encircling the needle. We're in position to purl the next stitch and either take the yarn over the stitch and then the stitch, or do them together. Now my yarn is in the front, but my next stitch is a knit stitch. So I bring it to the back. I bring it over the needle to the front and between the two needles. So you can see that I've now encircled the needle again. I'm in position to knit the next stitch. This time I'm going to grab both the yarn over and the stitch I want to bind off together and pull it over that knit stitch. My next stitch is a knit stitch from the back over, encircling it. That's a reverse yarn over. Knit the stitch. With the tip of your needle, grab the yarn over and the last stitch and bind off. Next stitch is a purl. So remember, bring your yarn to the front between the two needles and then do a normal purl yarn over, back between the two, encircling your needle. You're in front to purl and purl. I'm going to finish off and I'm going to show you what you want to do at the end to avoid that last big stretchy stitch. Now I'm at the last stitch. You're going to do your reverse yarn over as you normally do. You're going to knit that last stitch as you normally would, but this time you're just going to pull your yarn over that stitch. And you can see now that I have my last two stitches. To bind these off, you want to put your needle down and cut an appropriate length of tail. Thread your darning needle with the tail And then with the darning needle, go through both of those stitches, pulling your knitting needle out and pull tight. And that's how you avoid that last really huge stitch on the end. So you can see this is a great bind off that is not only super stretchy, but so elastic when I let it go, it springs right back.